to you about smart motorways. They are anything but, of course. There's going to be a protest organised, I think, in Westminster next week. Smart motorways have this brilliant idea where the hard shoulder is removed, inexplicable to my mind, and it's led to a number of fatalities. Mike Rawson is a former Metropolitan Police traffic sergeant and one of the protest organisers, and joins me now. Mr. Rawson, good evening.
Good evening, Andrew. Very nice to talk to you, and thank you for the opportunity to promote this protest. And I really mean that. These smart motorways, this removal of emergency hard shoulders, leaving people stranded if they break down in the path of vehicles travelling at possibly 70 miles an hour, which, Andrew, is 100 feet per second, and the government seem to think that all of the drivers will have no problem in avoiding a broken down vehicle. They will see it, indicate, change lanes, everything will be fine. And it is not fine, and you're absolutely right. To me, it's inconceivable you would remove the most important safety feature from what is a very high-speed and ever-changing environment, Andrew.
And we know, don't we, that between 2015 and 2019, 39 people died on so-called smart motorways where there was no hard shoulder, or because the hard shoulder had been converted to live traffic. Now, that's according to figures from Highway England, and yet they're persevering with it.
It's mind-boggling, isn't it? I mean, before they even introduced this system, they were warned by lawyers, look, if people die as a result of your policy, you could face prosecution for corporate manslaughter. Well, South Yorkshire Police are currently working on the possibility. They're gathering evidence to support a prosecution. And I'm afraid the law does take its time, as you know. And Claire Mercer, whose husband was sadly killed on a smart all-lane running motorway. I don't like the expression smart motorway because really it's an all-lane running, and it means that if anything happens, if you break down, Andrew, you can't drive a broken down car to an emergency refuge area, regardless of how far it is. It might be 5 yards from you, but you can't drive something that won't start. And
do you stay in the car, or do you get out? If you get out, you might be struck. If you stay in the car, you might be struck by a lorry. Remind me where this protest is next week and who's going to be there.
OK, well, Claire Mercer and I are organising it. We will gather in Belvedere Road, which is near the London Eye, about 1 o'clock, and at 2 p.m.
Is that on Monday? Is that on Monday?
Yes, this coming Monday, November the 1st. And we intend to march, walk silently, dignified. We're not going to be like these idiots from Insulate Britain.
Glad to hear it.
We're going to be on the footway all the time. We're not going to obstruct traffic. We want the public on our side, actually. And we are going to be carrying, believe it or not, coffins. Now, why have we been driven to this, Andrew? Because every conceivable attempt to get ministers to change their mind on this policy has failed. And we are now so concerned that more people will die or suffer life-changing injuries on these motorways. We really want to embarrass the government. I have no hesitation in saying it is about embarrassing the government and accusing ministers of really, sadly, having the death of these people on their conscience, because if the policy wasn't there, the people concerned would have gone on to a hard shoulder and almost certainly would be with us today.
And just remind me, where is the protest going to end up? Where are you going to be taking? Is it to Downing Street?
We're going to stop a little while outside the Palace of Westminster, the House of Commons, on the Green, and hopefully meet members of the media. And then we shall continue to outside the Department for Transport in Horseferry Road. So the total walk is 1.2 miles.
Yep.
So we just hope that as many people, if they feel really strongly, please come and join us near the London Eye by about 1:30 on Monday.
All right, that's Mike Rawson, former Met Police traffic sergeant, one of the protests organised. And I have to say, they are a disgrace, smart motorways. 39 people dead. There'll be more will die. Why on earth do you remove a hard shoulder on a motorway to keep the traffic flowing? Where do cars go when they break down? It makes absolutely no sense to me. Let's carry on.